The Galactic Assembly Hall had never been so quiet. Representatives from 100 civilizations sat in their designated sections, their various appendages, tentacles, and sensory organs all focused on the central holographic display. The image showed a vast emptiness where the Carillion cluster used to be. 12 star systems, gone without a trace. Ambassador Zixtel of the Altarian Confederacy stood at the podium, his crystalline form pulsing with distress. The readings are conclusive. The void has consumed another sector. Its expansion rate has increased by 30% in the last cycle. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. The void wasn't like any threat they had faced before. It wasn't an invasion force or a natural disaster. It was something far worse. A creeping nothingness that erased everything it touched from existence. No debris, no energy signatures, just absolute emptiness where matter once existed. The Threnody delegation chittered nervously among themselves. Their homeworld sat dangerously close to the void's projected path. Ambassador Kretak raised a feathered appendage. The evacuation protocols must be accelerated. We have perhaps 3 cycles before it reaches the core worlds. Agreed, said Commander Voss of the Draconian Empire, his scaled hide shifting colors with agitation. My people have already begun loading our arc ships. We suggest all species do the same. One by one, the representatives voiced their evacuation plans. The Cetians would flee to the Magellanic Clouds. The Zephyrians had located a promising galaxy cluster 7 million light-years away. The Synthetic Machina Collective was already transferring their consciousness matrices to mobile platforms. Then Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth stood up. The human representative was small compared to many of the aliens present, but her presence commanded attention. She wore the deep blue uniform of United Earth Space Command, stars gleaming on her collar. Earth will not be evacuating, she said calmly. The assembly fell silent. Even the constant hum of the station's life support systems seemed to pause. Ambassador Zixtel's crystal form flickered in confusion. Admiral Chen, perhaps you misunderstand. The void cannot be fought. It cannot be negotiated with. It simply unmakes everything. Chen nodded. We understand perfectly. And we're staying. The Altarian leaned forward, his translated voice carrying disbelief. This is suicide. Your species has shown remarkable adaptability, but this is beyond any challenge you faced. Why would you choose extinction? Admiral Chen activated her own holographic display. It showed Earth, blue and green and beautiful, surrounded by a network of satellites and defense platforms. Because someone has to try to stop it. Someone has to stand and face this thing, learn what it is, maybe find a way to beat it. Impossible, squawked Ambassador Thvek of the Aviarian Republic. The Korethi tried to study it. They sent their finest scientific vessels. Nothing returned, not even data streams. Chen's jaw tightened. The Korethi ran when their probes failed. We won't. Commander Voss stood, his massive frame towering over the human. Admiral, we respect humanity's courage, but there is a difference between bravery and foolishness. You have 10 billion souls on your homeworld. Would you condemn them all? I condemn no one, Chen replied. Any human who wishes to leave may join the evacuation fleets. We've already made arrangements with several species to take refugees, but Earth itself, and those who choose to remain, we stay. The assembly erupted in debate. Some called the humans mad. Others pleaded with them to reconsider. A few, quietly, expressed admiration for their resolve. Ambassador Zixtel raised a crystalline hand for silence. The Galactic Assembly cannot force any species to evacuate. If humanity wishes to remain. He paused, his form dimming. Then we shall respect that choice. But know this, Admiral Chen. When the void reaches Earth's sector, we will be too far away to help. Chen straightened her uniform. We know. We've always stood alone at our darkest hours. This time will be no different. As the assembly disbanded, representatives hurried to their ships to oversee evacuation efforts. The great exodus had begun. Within days, massive arc ships and colony vessels began leaving their home systems, forming vast convoys heading for the galactic rim and beyond. The Threnodi were among the first to leave, their graceful bioships gliding through space like schools of metallic fish. The Draconians followed, their military vessels escorting civilian transports. Even the ancient elders, who had inhabited the galaxy's core for millions of years, began their journey to distant shores. But Earth remained. As alien ships streamed past the Sol system, many sent final messages to humanity. Some wished them luck, others begged them one last time to flee. The Cetians, known for their logic and calculation, transmitted detailed survival projections. All showed the same result: 0% chance of survival against the void. Admiral Chen stood on Luna Base, watching the last of the evacuation fleets disappear into hyperspace. General Martinez stood beside her, his weathered face grim. "The President wants to know if you're certain about this," Martinez said quietly. Chen didn't take her eyes off the stars. "Marcus, when has humanity ever run from the unknown? We've always been the species that says, 'What if?' instead of 'What's the point?' We've climbed every mountain, dove to every ocean depth, sent probes to every corner of our solar system. Running now, it wouldn't be human." Martinez nodded slowly. "The defense grid is coming online. Every weapon we have, every shield generator, every experimental project we've kept under wraps. If we're making a stand, we're making it with everything we've got." "What about the Prometheus Protocol?" Chen asked. Dr. Helena Vasquez reports they've made progress. The quantum consciousness preservation system is, well, it's theoretical at best. But if it works, some part of humanity might survive even if our bodies don't, Chen finished. It's something. Over the following weeks, Earth transformed. Cities went underground, moving into vast bunker complexes. The planet's surface became a fortress, bristling with weapons humanity had developed but never used: antimatter cannons, gravitational wave projectors, reality anchor stations designed to maintain local space-time stability. The most ambitious project was the Mind Web, a planet-spanning network of quantum computers and neural interfaces designed to link human consciousness in ways previously thought impossible. Scientists hoped it might provide some defense against the void's reality-erasing effects. As the rest of the galaxy fled, humans did what they did best. They prepared, they adapted, and they refused to give up hope. The void came slowly at first, a creeping darkness at the edge of sensor range. Long-range probes sent back increasingly disturbing data before winking out of existence. Space itself seemed to unravel where the void touched, fundamental constants shifting, matter and energy ceasing to follow known laws. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, Earth's leading theoretical physicist, studied the readings with growing fascination and horror. "It's not just destroying matter," she reported to the Emergency Council. "It's unwriting the rules that allow matter to exist. It's like reality itself is being edited." Admiral Chen absorbed this information. "Can we shield against it?" "We're trying. The reality anchors might help, but we're essentially trying to hold back an ocean with our bare hands." As the void crept closer, strange things began happening on Earth. People reported shared dreams of vast alien spaces. Some claimed to hear whispers in languages that had never existed. Children drew pictures of symbols that matched no known writing system, but were identical across continents. The day the void reached Pluto's orbit, every human on Earth felt it. A pressure in their minds, like standing at the edge of an infinite abyss. But instead of fear, many reported feeling something else: recognition. Admiral Chen stood in the command center, surrounded by screens showing the approaching darkness. "Whatever this thing is," she said softly, "I think we've met it before." The readings from humanity's most ancient archaeological sites, places like Göbekli Tepe and the Nazca Lines, began showing unusual energy signatures. Patterns emerged that matched the void's quantum fluctuations as the darkness swept toward Earth, swallowing the outer planets one by one. Humanity stood ready, not because they thought they could win, but because standing was what humans did. They faced the darkness not with resignation, but with curiosity, defiance, and an unshakable belief that every problem had a solution. The last message Earth broadcast to the fleeing galaxy was simple. Humanity stands. We'll hold the line. Go safely, and remember us. Then the void touched the edge of Earth's defensive grid, and everything changed. The moment the void made contact with Earth's outer defense grid, every screen in the command center erupted with impossible readings. Energy signatures that shouldn't exist, gravitational waves that moved backward through time, quantum states that existed in mathematical dimensions humans had only theorized about. Admiral Chen gripped the command console as reality itself seemed to shudder. Status report. Reality anchors are holding, but power consumption is off the charts, reported Commander Torres. We're burning through our antimatter reserves at an alarming rate. Dr. Tanaka's fingers flew across her holographic interface. The void is. It's not what we thought. It's not destroying space-time. It's translating it into something else. Before Chen could respond, every human on Earth experienced the same thing simultaneously. A vast presence touched their minds, not invasive, but questioning, probing. Like standing before an incomprehensibly massive entity that was trying to understand what they were. In the depths of Earth's oldest archaeological sites, ancient mechanisms suddenly activated. In Turkey, the stones of Göbekli Tepe began resonating with harmonic frequencies. The Nazca lines in Peru lit up with soft blue light. Under the ice of Antarctica, something massive stirred. Dr. Helena Vasquez, leading the Prometheus Protocol team, stared at her monitors in amazement. The mind web it's responding to something. Neural activity is synchronizing across the entire network. It's like every human consciousness is being woven together. The transformation was gradual but undeniable. As the void pressed against Earth's defenses, humans began experiencing memories that weren't their own, but not of other humans. These were memories of vast scales, of eons passing like heartbeats, of a time when the universe was young and full of possibilities. In a bunker beneath New Tokyo, a child spoke in a language that predated all human civilization. In the depths of the Atlantic, researchers reported that whales were singing in harmonics that matched the void's quantum frequencies. The entire biosphere seemed to be responding to the presence at Earth's door. Admiral Chen felt it too, a growing awareness that humanity's existence on Earth was not their first dance with this cosmic force. Dr. Vasquez, what are we looking at? The scientist's voice shook with awe. I think humanity has been here before. Not in this form, but as something else. The patterns match theoretical models of consciousness evolution on galactic scales. The revelation came not as data, but as understanding. The void wasn't a destroyer. It was a transformer, a cosmic force that moved through the universe, testing each civilization it encountered. Most fled, choosing to preserve their current forms rather than face transformation. But humanity. We're not the first version of ourselves, Chen whispered, the knowledge flooding through the mind web. We've done this before. We've faced the transformation and chosen to evolve. The archaeological sites across Earth revealed their true purpose. They weren't monuments to gods or astronomical calendars. They were markers, reminders left by humanity's previous incarnation. Beacons to guide them when the cycle came round again. Dr. Tanaka's voice cut through the revelation. Admiral, the void is responding to our neural patterns. It's trying to communicate. The communication wasn't in words or images, but in pure concept transfer. The entity, for that's what the void truly was, had been searching. It moved through the universe, looking for species ready to take the next step in cosmic evolution. Most ran, clinging to their physical forms. But some, a precious few across the eons, chose to face the transformation. It's not destroying civilizations, Chen realized. It's offering them a choice: remain as they are and flee, or evolve into something greater. The mind web pulsed with collective human consciousness, billions of minds linked together, processing this cosmic truth. Across Earth, people stopped their panic and stood still, looking up at the sky where the darkness pressed against their shields. Then, unexpectedly, help arrived. Hyperspace windows opened throughout the Sol system. Ships emerged, not the evacuation fleet, but a small contingent of vessels from various species. The Altarian crystal ship of Ambassador Zixtel led them, followed by Draconian warships, Threnody biovessels, and even a few Setian science craft. Admiral Chen, Zixtel's voice came through the communications array. We couldn't leave you to face this alone. Some of us chose to return." Chen felt tears in her eyes. "Ambassador, you're putting your people at risk." "Perhaps," the Altarian replied. "But as we fled, we realized something. In all our cycles of existence, no species has ever stood against the void. You humans, you showed us that there might be another way. We want to witness what happens when someone finally says yes to the universe's greatest question." The alien ships took up position around Earth, not to fight, but to observe and support. Their sensors recorded everything, their crews ready to assist however they could. The moment of decision came when the void's presence fully enveloped Earth's defensive sphere. The reality anchors groaned under the strain, energy shields flickered like candle flames in a cosmic wind. And then, Admiral Chen gave the order that would change everything. "Stand down the shields. Open the mind web to full reception. Let it in." Across Earth, humanity made its choice. Instead of fighting, they opened their consciousness to the transformation. The mind web became a bridge between human awareness and the cosmic entity. The change wasn't violent or terrifying. It was like remembering something long forgotten. Human bodies remained, but consciousness expanded, touching dimensions beyond physical space. The individual remained, but also became part of something immeasurably greater. The alien observers watched in awe as Earth itself transformed. The planet didn't disappear like the others, it evolved. Reality around it shifted, becoming something richer, more complex. Matter and energy danced in new patterns, and space-time itself gained new dimensions of possibility. Humanity had passed the test, not by fighting, but by embracing change, by choosing growth over stasis, evolution over preservation. The entity, no longer the void but revealed as the architect of evolution, communicated one final concept before withdrawing. It would continue its journey, seeking other species ready for transformation. But humanity would remain as guides for those who came after, bridges between the physical and the transcendent. In the aftermath, the galaxy watched in wonder as Earth became something new, still physical, but also more. Humans walked between worlds, equally at home in material reality and cosmic consciousness. They became teachers, guides, and explorers of realms beyond conventional understanding. The alien species that had fled gradually returned, drawn by curiosity and hope. They found humanity changed, but still fundamentally human. Still curious, still compassionate, still driven to explore and understand. Ambassador Zixtel, his crystalline form shimmering with newfound respect, spoke for many when he said, "You faced extinction and found transformation. You stood when all others fled. Perhaps this is humanity's gift to the cosmos, to show us that evolution need not be feared." Admiral Chen, now something more than human but still herself, smiled. "We've always been the species that asks, what's next? Instead of what's safe." This time, the universe answered. In the cycles that followed, other species would face the same choice. Some would flee, clinging to familiar forms. But increasingly, inspired by humanity's example, others would stand their ground and embrace transformation. The galaxy had fled the invasion, but humanity refused to run. In doing so, they didn't just save themselves. They opened a new chapter in cosmic evolution, proving that sometimes the greatest victory comes not from fighting the unknown, but from becoming one with it. The stars looked different now to human eyes, not distant points of light, but doorways to infinite possibilities. And somewhere in the vast cosmos, the architect of evolution continued its eternal journey, seeking the next species brave enough to say yes to transformation. Humanity had found its true destiny, not as conquerors of the universe, but as its gardeners, helping other species bloom into their full potential. They had refused to run, and in standing their ground, they had found their place in the cosmic dance of evolution. The greatest story in human history wasn't about how they defeated an enemy. It was about how they recognized a teacher, embraced change, and became something magnificent. They had stayed behind when everyone else fled, and in doing so, had moved further ahead than any species before them. The galaxy would never be the same. And that, humanity knew, was exactly as it should be.